Listen carefully. You are now 5,000 miles from land, and you're descending 7 miles to the bottom of the ocean. See you all in a month.
Here we go.
So,
Underwater.
yes, Underwater. I know nothing about this movie. It looked in the trailers like it was a retelling of Alien, but underwater. And I am completely on board with that.
Actually, not just Alien. It looks like a mixture of Alien and Sphere.
Which I'm happy.
I love them both.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. If that is what we're gonna get, and Kristen Stewart, I don't have from the trailer, I don't have a problem with her character.
Rob.
The other guy who's the comedian, to be honest, I always liked his characters in every movie he does.
I think he's charismatic.
Yeah, and so I'm excited to see what they have in store. I like the look and I like the feel of the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how bad?
Okay, we didn't stop it periodically, but we just finished the movie Underwater.
Underwhelming.
Okay.
I literally felt in the beginning I felt it was way too quick. Like I was almost so like hit in the face. It was like a boxing match. I was hit in the face. Like whoa, okay, slow it down for a second. Whoa, shit's just going. And then all of a sudden, it never slowed down. It was always okay. We have to keep running. Now that works in some movies. That really does. It works really well. But for this, I wanted to care for the characters, but I didn't care for the characters.
Right, and that's where I think the movie was lacking. It was visually beautiful.
I think the visuals were great, fantastic.
Visually beautiful. The things that happen in the movie were good. I just really wanted to care for the characters by that point. I wanted to have like an Alien, right? You have 25, maybe 30 minutes of just boring getting to care for the characters, right? I wanted that. And I wanted to learn these characters. I wanted to know them.
The thing that really, really kind of bothered me was in the middle of the movie, I got bored because I didn't care. Like Kristen Stewart's character, you had to. It was like, by the way, you're gonna like this character because it's a female character, and she knows a lot of stuff. No, you don't see her interaction with really anybody beforehand.
Well, also like what his name is, T.J. Miller, right?
Yeah.
He just has funny quips. That's it. And he has a funny little
and you're
thing.
supposed to like him.
And you're supposed to like him instantly. And the other guy, he has a love interest. You're supposed to like him. The girl, she finds love. You're supposed to like her.
The captain.
You're
supposed to. He's the captain.
He's the captain. He lost his daughter.
It's so
you're supposed to like them.
It's so matter of fact.
Right. Let's have those moments where we build a relationship with them. We know how they interact.
For example,
with each
the
other.
movie Sunshine. I cared so much for every one of those characters.
Right.
Because they built up those characters. You built on top of them. When you had the captain sacrifice himself in that movie, Sunshine, it was so powerful, and you were like, no, the whole entire time. In this one, you were like,
right,
okay.
Well, they had, I wish they just gave. They for example, her talking, right?
The narration?
The narration in the very beginning. They should have just shown flashes of like just living, and in between like a couple things. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm saying what they.
Oh no, yeah, I know.
for what they had in the movie, if she was saying, I'm doing this is how long I've been here, and then you see flashes of her interacting with some of the people, so you get some of the stuff, who she might know, who she doesn't know.
I mean, there was a lot of just mistakes that you're like, that wouldn't work, oh, that didn't work, oh, that wouldn't work. But the thing that really kind of got me is, how did this place work? Because she was meeting some of these people and going, oh, you're so and so, right? And he's like, yeah, I know you. And it's like, but she doesn't know you, but you know her. Okay. And he's like, yeah, I work the night shifts. So how many people work on this thing? Because when they were going off saying, oh, we sent 20 up already, and then, oh, this whole entire wing fell, and she's like, oh, this so and so did, and she listed off a few, and then she said it could be a few more. And you're like, you're assuming there's maybe about 40 or 50 people down there?
Yeah, I would assume that there would probably be, similar to a warehouse. There's usually about 40, 50 people, up to 100 for the size and scale of that place, that probably work on and off shifts. They don't know each other, kind of like in an oil rig. I got that. I got that. I understood that you don't know everybody. You kind of know of them, depending on who's your superiors and who your, if I was working at a warehouse, I knew who the engineer was, who I needed to, if something went wrong with my machine, who to go to. I knew that person. He didn't know me. So I understand that. I get all of that. I get what it didn't build any of that. It just said, by the way, within 30 seconds we're running.
Well, you just,
we're not
stop. You just see that and you're like, oh, is it being run like a warehouse, like that kind of a thing? You don't really get the idea of how this place even worked. When you watch any kind of deep sea or space movie, because they're both one and the same almost. You always get that those kind of scenes where you kind of get the idea of how this facility works,
right?
And you never got that. So I didn't. So at first you don't understand what everybody's kind of role is. Okay, T.J. Miller's character. What do you do here? You know, so and so's character. What do you do here? You can just look at it and go, okay. Now they said what Kristen Stewart's character was, mechanic. But you were like, what do some of these people do here? You know, one guy, when they get to this like command center in the very beginning, they're like, oh, everybody's kind of sitting around, and then they hug each other, and you're like, wait, is that? Why are you guys just sitting around? Why are you people just sitting around? And then once Kristen Stewart's character gets there, she gets on a computer and she hits a few buttons and notices this, and that. And it's like, could you other people not do this?
What is that? What is that?
What is happening?
There's something following us.
Why did she have to do this? And then now the captain sits there with them and is like, okay, so check this for me and check this for me. And now it's like a space movie kind of thing. It's like, check this number one, you know? And you're like, is this how I don't understand how everything is supposed to run, you know? And that kind of threw me for a loop at first.
There are like little nitpicking, in the water, the monsters moved so quick.
Oh, the people did too?
But I'm saying the monsters moved so quick that if it would grab a person, it would instantly go to another location. And now I'm trying to go, who is that? Who's that? And I'm trying to figure out who that person is. But I had the same problem when I first watched Black Hawk Down. And I had to watch it a couple times to figure out who was who.
Can't tell who's who.
Right. And so it might be another watch if you're like, oh, I really want to understand. I can get who's who.
Well-
The biggest detriment of it is when they all came together, we should have had easily more time to get to know each other. We had that one little joke that they did. And then the other two talked a little bit. But let's give us a moment of we're all, oh my god, watching something happen or this and that. Give us more character building moment there. At least, I'd say at least 3 minutes of a little bit more of character building. It seems like they tried to keep it at an hour and a half movie. I think there was more.
No, I don't
feel
think,
like
I
there's
don't-
more.
I don't feel that there was more. Honestly, the thing is, here's the little nitpicks that really kind of get to me as well is physics did not work underneath the water. If you've ever tried to run underwater, I don't care what you're wearing. If you see any movie of anybody underwater, they are slow. But like Kristen Stewart's character got up and was running, hauling
Yeah, you
ass and stuff. Like
if you watch this side by side with Sphere, you'd be like, wow, you could ninja roll on the bottom of the floor. No, you couldn't. It took almost a day to go a mile under the water in Sphere. But yes, throwing the physics out. I understood the physics of everything after the first time they went into the water.
Well, I also okay. Keep in mind, I enjoy movies that go into the idea of this is my own reality. So I like the fact that they were like, oh look, everything is ran pretty mechanically. Boom, this button is going to shut this. These buttons are going to shut that. So oh look, everything's saying this is not going to open. This is not going to open. Shoot it. Rewire. Boom. Open it. That doesn't exist in real life anymore. That's just not real.
Yeah, it would be a software and app.
Yeah. Now, but I enjoy that they took that kind of mentality and they ran with it with this facility.
Yeah, it was very steampunk.
I like that.
I loved the coloring, the feel. They did a lot of artsy shots in the beginning. They did a lot of artsy shots in the end. And then in the middle, they kind of just let's just get it done.
When the creatures, there were times where when the creatures were attacking and stuff, I found myself doing long blinks. But that's just because it's so much like here, there, so many cuts and so much movement with the camera with CGI that I was like, at certain points it just kind of all over the place motion sickness.
I did like that there was a giant monster.
I liked that it became a giant
it
monster.
It answered a question of, was it a giant?
Where do they come from?
What was happening? And it was a giant monster saying, "Hey, get out of my way."
I didn't understand at the end there when the giant monster is just like kind of going. It's almost like he was struggling to like it was getting out of bed, struggling. And then when she hits the thing to explode, which by the way, I love it in movies where hey look, all I have to do is hit a few buttons and then look, everything's gonna explode now.
Yeah, any
space bar.
Anybody suicidal could just get to that computer and go, "We're done."
It's like, hey guys, well I hit a few buttons wrong, boom, everything's gonna die.
Right. Where does she get the clearance and this and that? But
that goes back to the steampunkish kind of just anybody can do anything kind of things with any computer.
But that's a movie trope.
No,
so many movies.
That's what I'm saying. It's funny. It had its own little mythology with there and believability.
I don't see this as a bad movie. I see
it's
it as
not
a
bad
fun.
movie.
It's a fun monster movie romp. Is it as lasting as, say, Alien? No. You actually care for the characters. In Alien, you care for the characters. I know every person's job in that movie. Okay,
Well,
I can tell you every person's job in that movie. This, I couldn't tell you, other than two of them. I couldn't tell you what they do. Oh, I know, one's an intern, and then she goes, research assistant or something like that. But she's brand new to the place. Okay,
See,
all I know.
the reason why this movie is kind of just like I watch it and then you're kind of done with it. You don't think about it later. You just kind of you're like, oh, that was a good little 2-hour divert from my everyday life and move on, because you don't have these characters that you really connect with. When a movie has characters that entrance you or pull you in and you start to feel like you're creating a bond with these characters, like look at Sunshine. Sunshine, you created a bond with every one of those characters, so you actually feel really bad for each death, each character's demise. And with this one, you don't create any kind of bond, so you're kind of like, okay, that's a good bedtime story, move on.
It was all right. So, would you recommend people watching it?
If people want to have a entertaining hour and 30-minute romp, go ahead.
I have a soft spot for water movies.
Me too.
Yeah. So this is up there with it was a water movie, and I enjoyed it. Would I say it's a perfect movie? No. Would I say it's right there? Like I saw that it had a 6.1 out of 10. I'd say roughly about there. That's where I'm at with the movie. It's not.
I think right now it's
not
holding
great.
like a 5. If 5 on IMDb,
No, it's 6.1.
or 5 on Rotten Tomatoes, I think.
Okay.
43% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think.
I think that's too low.
It's like 43 on
I would
something.
say
I think
this
it
is
was Fandango, one of those things.
This is a solid 60% all across the board.
I just think it's a normal, like, it's a fair movie. It's just a good little time at the cinema. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't see
It had
it doesn't need to be bigger and better
No.
than everybody else.
It
just needed to be
needs a lot of bass. It needs a good sound system. It really pulled you in that
It
because
was way better than Life.
way better than Life. So yeah, that's basically it. Remember to check out some more content on our channel, and don't forget to check out some really bad movies.